crosses Savannah all the way out to Quakertown,
Oh, wow.
which on the one side.
And who is that?
I'm
It's
here.
an LDOT project.
Jim Morrow.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, Jim. So,
Was that funded by the, local streets project?
no, again, a DelDOT project, part of pedestrian safety. And so and that project starts now and runs through the end of January.
Oh, boy.
It's gonna, Savannah Road will never be closed, but there'll be lane closures as they move along. And also, it not only involves putting in a sidewalk, but they're installing a water line, a BPW water line extension out at least to the high school. So,
Wow.
lots of changes.
Kings Highway going to be open through all this?
Yes. But you can imagine what Kings Highway is going to be like, because, we only have 3 roads into this community.
Right.
You take 1.5 of them out, The nice thing about Savannah Road, that's going to be a daytime project. But new roads, just closed. So Jim, you're going to have a lot of interesting traffic on New Road up by your house there. You're muted.
What's that?
They're going to close New Road starting on the 11th for 12 days.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there certainly is. That might be an understatement.
With a roundabout, which New Jersey gave up on 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, DelDOT's in love with them. We've got them everywhere. Over by the new hospital building over on 24 or Plantations Road, I should say. All right. Is Susan on yet?
Just put my stuff here, that's all.
Have Susan yet? Oh, dear.
What else is going on today?
Susan called today, and she has some errands to run with her grandchildren, and she either be late or she may not make it.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Routine stuff, it's just a really busy time right now between some of the things we had today is a Board of Adjustment hearing on the net reel. So that's going to be that meeting starts at 10. And then getting ready for a city council meeting next week, got a lot going on with that. So, we don't lack for something to go with. And did we?
Played in a golf tournament last week with Carl Saliba and Andrew.
Oh, good. Oh, was Andrew was part of that too?
Yeah.
Good. Were you guys in the same foursome? Oh, wow.
Yeah, had a good time.
Good, I bet you did. Anne Marie's not going to be here because she's over at the, we have an update though from Shelby. She'll give us an update on what's going on with City.
Okay.
Do you know if Bob Fulton's going
I
to join us?
don't know, do we know if we heard anything from Bob Fulton? Let me text him real quick. I've got his email. Hopefully. Okay.
I think we did it maybe before. Yeah. No, just those last, the ones that are labeled as the absent elements. Mm-hmm. So,
Give it a minute, see what happens.
Do we need a quorum for this meeting?
We do, in order to pass the minutes, yeah, adopt the minutes.
Okay, and you made 7 copies. And it's not getting posted to the internet. I need to.
Carolyn's not here either.
Caleb, can you promote Bob Fulton?
Oh, thank you. He's trying to join, thanks. I didn't see it.
Got it.
Thank you. I just sent him a text, asked him if he was joining.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's on.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, I'm going to the Rollins Center.
See you, thank you very much.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. He's not there yet. There he comes. Morning, Bob.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
I think we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah.
Morning, we'll call the meeting to order. As Dr. Marble pointed out, I don't believe we have a quorum, so we have minutes from the September 28th meeting that will pass to the next meeting. So just as a COVID update, COVID is a little better than it was in the end of September. The positivity rate for the area still remains relatively high. It's 7.4%, which has been stable for the last 2 weeks. It was close to 9% when we met in September. So it's kind of what the CDC has expected. They expected the decline of the Delta variant wave to be a little bit slower than the other waves. I've not read why that is, but that's sort of their prediction, to kind of slowly trend down towards the holidays. So 5% is the big number. 5% is the number that the CDC uses to suggest that the rate of transmission is contained in a community. So we're kind of hoping for that. Statewide, the vaccination rates are 81%, which is pretty good. Here in the county, 65%, or almost 66% of people that are eligible have had a first shot. Just in the last 2 weeks, the Pfizer vaccine has been approved for 5 to 11-year-olds. I have not spoken to any of the pediatricians. I'm not sure what the number of kids in the community are getting at right now. So maybe when we talk to Bob, he may have some sense with that. I don't know. The other piece of interesting information is, there have been breakthrough cases through the Delta variant, which has caused people to wonder about the efficacy of the vaccine and why to get the vaccine. So the CDC produced some data last week that suggested that from August through September, that if you were unvaccinated, you were 6 times more likely to get COVID than you were if you were vaccinated, and you're also 11 times more likely to die. So it's kind of interesting data that's really compelling for the drum we continue to beat for vaccination. So I think from 30,000 feet, that's kind of my COVID report. It's getting a little bit better, but not dropping off quite yet.
You care to comment on what's going on locally at BB?
Yeah, so our hospitalization rates are trending down. They're down significantly from the maximum of the wave. We're probably at our maximum number of people being admitted in sometime in early October, and we're trending down from that. We're less than half of that number. We're still seeing a fair amount of people that are COVID positive that are showing up in our emergency department. However, most of those people are not requiring hospitalization now, which is good. Okay. We're slowly getting there.
And do we have anybody in ICU at this point? Or
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately what happens is for the people that get sick with it, it's a long process. The hospitalizations are 10 days to 2 weeks, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Long time. Okay. Well, thanks for the update.
Yep. Bob, how are the schools doing?
Things are going, I guess, well. It's all relative, though. I guess we've been kind of used to things over the last 2 years. I still look at the data every day, not just for the employees and for students, but just the county. And over the county over the last, I think since the end of August, And there probably are cases where like 150 cases per week, and we're down to 50 now, so which is a good thing. And now we're managing things in the schools. We're trying to get and encourage as many people as possible to be vaccinated. Obviously, we're encouraged that as early as this week we could have the go-ahead for our elementary age students, and we're all ready to go with that and have things set up if that does occur. I haven't later today, that will be announced possibly.
When you say that, so are you planning on offering the vaccines in the schools?
Sites, different, not during the school day, we'll have sites, for parents to bring students to, other times. It won't be during the school day at the elementary schools for students right during that time, but there'll be, different sites throughout the week, a couple different times, probably over the next few weeks, that we'll have availability for our families to bring their students if they choose to. So yeah, I mean, we're making things work. We're just trying to keep quarantines down, which is difficult with so many people in the schools. But our quarantines are still between a quarter and a half of where they were at the worst point last year. So they aren't like as bad as they were last year. And people are kind of just used to kind of working through everything. There's appears to be a little less anxiety, a little bit less of, the concern about things. Overall, it seems like it's going well. It's just trying to keep that momentum going and trying to make sure that people don't relax in the protocols and making sure that we're distancing when we can and we're masking when we can, because when we do have positive cases, those questions are asked. And if the answer is yes to a lot of those, then we have more people that have to quarantine. And, trying to have, staff out is difficult, especially when we don't have as many subs available to sub in our schools and coverage and those kind of things. So those are the bigger issues now, just trying to work through getting coverage for classes when we do have staff members out, and not just for COVID-related issues. Staff members out because they're out sometimes, and they do get sick sometimes with other illnesses, or they do have professional development going on they have to attend. So, so overall, things are going well. It'll be nice when eventually this does change and we can get back to even more normalcy and come to school without masks and don't have to worry about some of the things we worry about, because it takes its toll on everybody. I think that the staff overall has done an awesome job, but that also, what we've been through the last couple of years takes its toll on everybody, like it does for every parent, like it does for every community member. It's much more stressful, a lot more work to do, and but we're getting it done. I'm not sure if there are any specific questions. I'd be glad to answer them.
Bob, you had, a couple of weeks ago, you had the homecoming parade, or your homecoming parade and your homecoming dance. Did you see any uptick after that?
No, we had, the parade was outside.
Yeah.
We didn't expect to. The dance was outside. We had the dance at Love Creek Elementary School, which is a great venue which has the synthetic surface playground, area that's all grass and opened up, and then a stage for the DJ, and we had some lights outside, and I actually still up that night, just check it out for myself, and it was a nice event. It got a little drizzle towards the end, which ended a little bit sooner than we wanted it to, but overall it was kind of a nice event. It was good to see that meant a lot of kids there and seemed to be having fun as well.
Great.
I really haven't seen an uptick in the numbers. If anything, the numbers have gone down slightly over the last few weeks.
Great.
Bob, as of November 1st, our teachers have to either be vaccinated or testing?
Yes, they do. So it's been since that's been announced, it's been a process for us to put things in place. So we've been fortunate the state assisted us with a system called the Data Service Center, which we use for other applications within our school. It's a data source that we're able to collect information and report information. So we're able to actually use that to collect information related to either vaccinations and or testing. staff members can upload vaccination, testing information right to that site, which helps us to kind of understand and know sort of what the situation is and who needs to be, tested and those kind of things. So we're starting this week, so we're starting currently to collect the information, and everyone who should have something uploaded, testing-wise, will have to do so by the end of this week, by Friday of this week. We do have a curative trailer at the high school location for testing we have there on Thursdays.
Yeah, I saw it.
It starts late morning but goes until the early evening too for staff members, and another option for staff members to be tested on that weekly basis. We're trying to kind of provide as many options to staff as possible and to share where in the community they can be tested as well. So it's a process, we're just trying to get through it and manage. We have 1,200 employees. The majority are vaccinated, thankfully, but there's still some that are not. So it's for those that are not that there's more follow-up and more, work to be done to make sure that we're following the state mandate of vaccinations and/or testing.
Yeah, it's a heavy lift, no doubt. Employees are terribly valuable right now, so it's a balance of kind of, having these people either tested or vaccinated, but also kind of making their life as easy as possible.
Right. Yeah, we have some.
It's every employee group. I mean, it's substitute teachers. If a few, don't do that, that really hurts us, because we need every single substitute teacher. If a bus driver, for some reason, is, not on target with getting testing, I mean, that's crucial. We can't get kids to school, and we're sort of up against it even with having enough bus drivers as it is, teachers, paraeducators, everything. So every employee group is important, and so we're doing our best to try to convey to our staff we want to work with them to provide as many options, if at all possible, and supports as possible, so that we can make this work given some of the challenges that we'll see.
Yeah.
We had adopted a similar mandate here at the city about a month ago. And Shelby, you want to bring us up to date on where we are?
Yes.
Yes, so we currently have a total of 54 employees, and that includes some of our seasonal parking staff. And 41 are vaccinated, which is 76% of our staff, and 13 are unvaccinated, so they test weekly. And they have been testing and providing results in a timely manner. We give Monday through Sunday to allow for the police schedule to be tested, but that is, they are complying.
Have you sensed the number of people that got vaccinated once there was the option of either weekly testing or vaccination?
Yes, there's about probably four that got tested, fully vaccinated after the mandate went into play.
Yeah. Well, good.
76% is pretty good. That's good to hear. And has anybody expressed additional concerns about or more interest, or are they still just satisfied with doing the weekly testing?
Yes, I think so. We did reach out to have a vaccine event at our annual party, but nobody took that. There were a couple people who still went after and got tested, but nobody since has asked or shown an interest.
Well,
thank you.
Obviously, we're ahead of the national curve at this point, but that doesn't mean that we're there. So, but thank you very much.
No, thank you.
So, Paul, I think one of the things we put on the agenda for this meeting, and although it's not specified here, was a discussion about Christmas holidays and things like that, the parade, hospitality night, and I know Betsy's here from the chamber, and she's put out the invitation to participate in the parade. We saw the Sea Witch Parade go forward last weekend, and other events like Bob was talking about, the high school events. What's your thoughts on hospitality night and the parade?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're, first off, they're kind of who we are as a town, right? I mean, people are desperately want them, and I've heard people already talking about it. I think from a medical standpoint, it makes sense. I think we've demonstrated right through the Sea Witch Parade, through the event at the high school for homecoming, I mean, this is safe. Certainly the parade is outside, so it's very safe. And hospitality night, as far as, if you're take reasonable precautions, I think there's no reason not to do it.
What I've heard from the merchant, and Betsy, you may want to add to this, is that it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, what they're comfortable with. As we know, in the past, Hospitality Night has been a very social event with bands and singers, carolers, whatever, strolling or standing in places in the town. I don't know whether we'll have that or not. It depends on what they're willing to do. But I think the merchants are going to they're not going to be doing some of the things with food and drink that they've done in the past. I would imagine if those merchants who choose to participate will be packaging or have packaged things rather than trays of food and things like that. You don't see any problem with that kind of thing going forward?
We don't, no. And again, remember that air or ventilation is your friend. So if you have a small space, if you have a small shop, the more ventilation you can have in there, i.e. your front door open, your back door open, air movement through that significantly dissipates any virus that's in the air. But again, if they're in close contact, they should still wear a mask. There's really no reason to not do this, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Right.
Betsy, do you have any comments or questions?
No, I think that's wonderful. I think it'll be welcome news to everybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think everybody's anxious to try to get back to whatever the new normal is going to be, and this is another indication. We were very cautious about the fireworks on July 4th, and that seemed to work very well. And I was very pleased to see Sea Witch go forward last week. So, Betsy, it looks like onward and forward for you.
That's exciting news for everybody.
And I would like to say, in addition to our homecoming events, that there were a lot of students involved, but we've had several other events since then and before then have had more people involved, and we're still doing athletics. We still have, obviously we're masking inside for volleyball this fall, but outside with all of our field hockey and football and soccer, and we had Beacon Mariner football game. Beacon Mariner last night played at the high school for soccer and for field hockey, and we've had hundreds of people at our events, in our bleachers, outside, and it's been well. We haven't seen any kind of uptick after any of those types of events or anything going like that.
That's great.
I have a question for Bob.
Come up to the mic if you would, Betsy.
Hello, Mr. Fulton. I have a question for you. Traditionally, we've had the Cape Jazz Band perform at Hospitality Night. They set up out in front of Citizens Bank. Do you think that would be allowed?
I do. Yeah, I don't know all the details of every group and what the restrictions are, but if they're outside, right now we have our band playing at our football games, and they're in the bleachers and they're playing throughout the whole game. They perform at halftime, so I don't see a reason why if there's some kind of outside venue, they wouldn't be able to perform if they've done it before and they're willing.
Okay, and then the chorus usually makes an appearance as well. So I'll just
Same
be
thing.
in contact
Perform,
with them.
they sing our national anthem sometimes for different events, so I don't see a reason if they're outside why they can't. Well, that they wouldn't be able to. Like I said, I don't know all the different rules for performing arts, but I've seen them do it in other locations, so I'm assuming that they'd be able to do it and work with you all to do it as they have in the past.
And the same thing with the Christmas parade. They actually are the ones who are the last ones that usher in Santa. So, all right. Well, I'll be in touch with them. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Any other recommendations you would have for the city in reference to safety precautions or anything like that?
No.
Okay, very good. Dr. Marvel, you have any questions?
No, I just, has a decision been made about the Christmas parade yet?
I think we pretty much decided based upon Dr. Cowan's suggestion, we're going to go ahead with it.
Okay.
Okay? That and Hospitality Night. Obviously, Hospitality Night it's a chambered and sponsored event, but it's up to each individual merchant as to whether or not they choose to participate, just as it's always been. And obviously, it'll have a different flavor to it this year because of caution with having food and things like that, but sounds like, based upon what Dr. Collins is recommending, that we're going to plan to go ahead and see what the merchants actually want to do. So, okay, great. So we should talk about a future meeting. I don't think we, given everything that we were talking about and getting through the holidays, I don't think we need to get together before the middle or late January. How do you feel about that, Paul?
I think that's fine. I expect, I think we're on the correct side of this curve, so I don't expect there would be anything really significant.
Looking at January, and we've been meeting on a Tuesday. Our council meeting will be on the 10th of January. It seems like the 4th might be a little premature, and I don't think that we would necessarily have anything, if there was anything kind of a pickup after Christmas, we would not know anything by then.
Right.
So maybe we postpone it even until like the 25th of January? Does that work?
That makes sense.
Okay. 9 o'clock work for you again?
That's perfect.
So we'll meet on the 25th of January at 9 here at City Hall. And hopefully by then we will have gotten through the holidays and had no uptick. And one comment, I know we had a flu vaccine.
Well, so I want to wait till Mark gets here to see if he was reserving. So we were kind of, oh, there's Mark. Mark, did you want to reserve the front row for your witnesses? It would be easier. How many witnesses do you have? Perfect.
Are we just a mask on all the time?
Except when talking.
Oh, okay.
Is that what it says?
Somewhere. Which side do you want us on here?
I was thinking you over there, but either way, have you lost weight?
You know what?
Huh?
I stopped eating snacks. But then my wife got me a Weight Watchers app, and it's like $15 a month. And I said, well, I'm not gonna buy that, so I'll just eat what you eat.
Right. I know. You've had always
But she looks good. Oh, nice to meet you.
So,
Did you want me here, or did you want me over
I
here?
had you guys set up over there, either way is fine with me. Which side?
Doesn't make
Is
any-
there a traditional side that?
They mix, the judges mix it up, but it's not a court, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, when Barrett gets here, people don't have to sign up ahead of time to speak, do they?
No, the public, we'll call on the public at an appropriate time.
Those two. So, what we need
Which is.